Just the Luka the dice. Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Just the Luka the dice. Today, I play against Jameson. We're going to be playing a couple of games of Age of Sigmar meeting engagement. How old are you, Jameson? Let the people know. Where are you from?
13.
And you hail from?
Highland, Illinois.
All right, so Jameson was here last year, and the year before that, if I recall.
Yes.
So it's like a yearly trip that he makes with his dad. His dad's in the corner right now, kind of watching as we do the intro. We are playing meeting engagement, 2 games. It's going to be Ironjawz versus Stormcast Eternals. I whip out the Stormcast Eternals every now and then just to try them out. I forget about them, and I'm like, oh, I remember I like them. I'm like, okay, I'll play them again. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, they're boring. I'm going to stop playing them. Oh, I forgot I like them. I'll play them again. So that's the situation here. I've been playing a bunch of death, so I wanted to try out some order. And like I said, meeting engagement's the new match play system that Games Workshop wrote in the General's Handbook 2019. If you're not familiar with it, follow our game, and maybe you'll find out you like it yourself. I guess without further ado, let us go take a look at the armies. And if you want to come by, like Jameson, and play some games with us here at the bunker, go to MiniWarGaming.com/challenge. Easy as that. I will be running this Stormcast Eternal Force for today's game of meeting engagement against Jameson. This is a mix of Vanguard, a mix of the Lizard Temple people, or the Drake Templar Temple thing, and we got some of the Sacrosanct Chamber in the middle, which is my favorite chamber, though I picked my favorites from the other two as well. Not that the Aether Wings are my favorites, but they're cheap and efficient, so that's why I like them. I have my Spearhead, my main body, and my rear guard in this fashion. This is 990 points, and because the general will be the Lord Arcanum Griff Charger, that will make them battle line, which will give me my 1 battle line and my 1 leader minimum requirements. But on to the Spearhead, we have a unit of concussors, just because not overly fast, but they can get into the fray and they can start on the battlefield right away. Normally having 2 units in your Spearhead's not a bad idea either, in case you have 2 objectives in your territory that you need to get to. The main body will have my general, the Lord Arcanum Griff Charger. I am running the Hammers of Sigmar, as I normally do, which will give me an increase to my bravery, as well as the command trait, We Shall Not Fail, and the Godforged Blade Relic, which are both going to be on him. He's going to know the spell, I believe it's Living Lightning. It's essentially a 24-inch range D3 mortal wounds that has the chance to bounce to nearby enemy units. Probably won't cast it all that much, but it's the one I chose. And of course, the battle line for the squad will be a squad of 10 Sequidors. We have 4 hammers in the unit, 2 per 5, and the champion, or the prime, is allowed to take a hammer as well. So we have 5 grand hammers, or great mauls, and 5 regular ones as well. Now, supporting the main body, we have a squad of 5 evocators, evocators, I'm not too sure what the pronunciation there is. And then the rear guard will have Aether Wings, who will probably be hiding in the realm of heavens and deploying somewhere where I need them. I will be trying to utilize the Stormcast Eternal's deep striking capabilities this game. I shouldn't say deep striking, but their ability to appear on the battlefield and see where that can get me. Though,
essentially deep striking.
Essentially deep striking them onto the battlefield. Mostly with the Aether Wings, I bet, but probably the Aether Wings and the Evocators. We'll see. Now let's take a look at the Ironjawz from Jameson. Why don't you let the people know what you got?
So in my Spearhead, I have a unit of Gore-Gruntas with their Gore-Hackers, I believe.
Yeah, that's the 2-inch reach.
Yes.
It's a good unit to have out front because they move fast. They can get around.
Then in my main body, I have 2 units of Brutes, one with Gore-Hackers, his boss has Boss Claw, and the Brute Smash.
He has a Boss Claw, Brute Smasher, and then we got the special weapon in the back there.
Yeah, the Gore Choppa. And the normal guys have Gore Choppas. I mean, not Gore Choppas, Gore Hackers. These guys have the Gore Choppas. Boss Claw, Gore Choppa. Big Gore Choppa.
And we got a War Chanter as well.
Yep.
The Hype Man.
And then I have my Mega Boss with Alta. And then I have the War Chainer. I mean, not the Weird Knob Shaman.
Yeah, it's the Weird Knob Shaman. He's gonna Power de Gua, was it? Is his spell?
Yes.
Power de Great Wa. It's essentially he has to pick units equal to my units equal to the amount of his units nearby, and he gets to do D3 mortal wounds to them. I'll explain the spell better as it's cast. It goes off on an 8 though, so it's kind of pricey. And then this guy is your commander. He's your general.
Yes.
His command trait was going to be...
Bestial Charisma.
Nice.
Essentially, every single time I use Inspiring Presence, D3 units are affected.
Instead of just the normal one.
Yeah, just to make sure none of my very valuable brutes run away.
Yeah, in case they both get hit.
Yeah.
And his relic is going to be the Destroyer.
Yep, on his Choppa.
He has a little custom choppa on the side over here. And makes the damage 3 instead of 2, which is always great because he's got like 6 or 7 attacks, something ridiculous like that.
And he also gets an attack for every character he kills.
True, that's right. Every time he slays a hero, he gets an extra attack with that weapon. Does the damage go up too, or just the attack?
Just the attack.
Alright, just the attack. And lastly, in the rear guard, 10 Ard Boys. And you're playing them all with great weapons?
Some with great weapons, some with...
Oh, so you're going to play them, like, WYSIWYG, I guess, because like, there's a mix. There's a double hand weapons over here, and then a couple of them have great weapons. And who's the champ? Is that the champ here?
Nope, this guy's
That's
champ.
the champ? Okay, yeah, that's right. That is the champ model. And then that is it for the Ironjawz. Let's take a look at the table. Here is the battle Jameson and I will be playing. This is a studio level mat. It's actually some of my favorite terrain. In fact, I can't find the trees though. I was going to put the trees over here in the no man's land just to kind of populate it, but I don't know where they are. And I'm disgruntled by this. And I have to hunt them down, but I was wasting too much time earlier in doing so. So I'll find them after this, because they're here, but where? And there's a lot of ground to cover, so I'll have to waste my time doing that later. Because someone moved them, and it wasn't me, and I always like to keep my favorite terrain very nicely organized. Anyways, I digress. We have our 4-foot by 3-foot table. Now I know that this is going to be 4 feet by 4 feet, so what Jameson and I are going to do, we're going to cut, this is a good suggestion from James who came by last time I played games with, just cut 6 inches off of each board edge, and then that way you can actually play the battle plans properly and comfortably, because you could have easily just done 3 feet this way and 4 feet that way, but more often than not, we have a player playing on this end and a player playing on this end, which is kind of hard to reach. I mean, it'd be hard for Jameson to reach from like over here to over here. It's hard enough for me to reach and play over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut 6 inches off, and I've measured that by these pieces of terrain. They are exactly 6 inches up. So this area here is no man's land. This is just there for the looks. It's actually not part of the play. The play will start right here, and it will go up to the line on these rocks over here as well. That will be our battlefield. There are 6 scenarios to play. I think I'm just going to reroll 1 because... we'll just play whatever I roll. I played them last week, and I'm like, it's good enough time for me. Well, we got number 5. So this is going to be Rearguard Action. So we have 3 objectives set up. We have 12 inches in, 24, and then another 12. Split up 3 ways on this 4-foot table, going over there. And we have blue player on this side and red player on this side. Now, the difference is here. Blue player has their rear guard start on this long table edge. Their main body shows up over there, and then their spearhead shows up over here. Now, it's opposite for the red player. Their rear guard shows up their spearhead shows up first over here, and then main body, and then rear guard up over there. Unfortunately for our armies, or maybe the Ironjawz, this is also one of those longer kind of tables. So we are actually deploying on these lines over here, which are going to be 48 inches apart, and we deploy 3 inches up. So it's actually 42 inches apart at the start of the game. So it's going to take a while for our spearhead slash rear guard to get to each other. But we have the 3 objectives right in the middle. We're deploying over here, and we're fighting our way to the middle. So we're going to probably be able to control our first one easily enough, but the middle one's where we're going to be fighting. And it's very basic in this scenario. It's 4 turns. Whoever kills the most every battle round gets 2 points. Otherwise, it's a tie for 1 point. And whoever holds the most objectives, using the normal controlling rules for objectives, gets 3 points, and the opponent gets nothing. Otherwise, if it's a tie on objectives, it's worth 1 point. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 4th turn wins the game. If they win by more than 5 points, it's a major victory. If it's less than that, it's just a minor victory. Roll off time between Jameson and myself. You got a 2, I got a 3, so I get to pick. I think I want my spearhead to show up first. So that means I have to be red. Yeah, sure, I'll be red. Well, the deployment in the first turn is usually never all that exciting for meeting engagement. We got 10 Ard Boys and Jameson's rear guard showing up over there. And because I'm blue, I got my spearhead. Sorry, I'm red. Blue is over here. I got my spearhead first. So I wanted to actually use my spearhead as the first unit. I also finished deploying first because I put down my first unit, and then Jameson put his unit down. So I'm going to go ahead and say you get to go first.
Okay.
obviously nothing in the hero phase with these Ironjawz. So what Jameson did is he ran them up 6 inches onto the objective, which is simple enough. No shooting, no fight, no charging, no fighting, no battle shock to be done so far. So we put his contingent, Jameson's main body shows up over here. So now remember, we're not using these 6 inches of the table. So they actually deploy wholly within 9 inches of the mat, technically. And they were only allowed to come up 12 inches up this way, so half of his territory they were allowed to show up. So they're over here, which is 2 squads of brutes, the Mega War Boss, the Chanter, and the weird knob Shaman. Which will bring us to my turn, which is going to be near identical. I'm just going to go ahead and run. No hero phase to be done with them. I'm going to run them. They move an additional 3. So they ran forward, landing near the objective. In addition to that, no shooting, no charging, no fighting, no battle shock, and then my main body contingent shows up. Now, as you can see, I have my evocators who showed up from the heavens, all within 6 inches of objective 2. Now, this is kind of weird because I'm used to in normal Age of Sigmar that they show up at the end of the movement phase, and instead of showing up when the contingent shows up. So when they show up with the contingent, they can deep strike normally, but they're usually allowed to charge afterwards, and this one they kind of just show up, and they show up at the end of the turn before you get to know who goes next in the next battle round. So you have to be pretty careful with them. So the rule is that the contingent must show up when it is told to do so. So even though they can show up at the end of any movement phase normally, they have to show up with the main body contingent, which is at the end of my first player turn. So they show up there. They just follow the normal rules. So they have to be more than 9 away from enemies, but they can show up anywhere on the battlefield otherwise. I'm not going to be benefiting from Shock and Awe in this case, but that's fine because this is still really powerful. Or a really powerful ability in meeting engagement. And then this squad over here, the Sequidors and the Lord Arcanum on Gryph-Charger showed up. The normal rules of showing up, so they are wholly within 3 inches of the battlefield edge, which is technically 9 inches up, but again, we're ignoring this part here. Trying this is more or less grinding into my mind and grinding into the minds of the viewers. Again, I want comments down below on how you prefer this, because this is the proper way to play. If you look at the battle plans, they had the visible 3-foot table and the visible 4-foot table edges.
Yeah, I like that.
Because here's the example. So this is obviously the 3-foot edge. This is obviously the 4-foot edge. Now we were always kind of playing it the opposite way just because of the convenience. Now, ironically, we're still deploying on the hammer and anvil edge, so it makes it a little reach. But it's easy enough for me to reach over here, and this is the proper way to play it, I find. What I'm mostly asking is, do you find it easier to watch us play when we take away 6 inches from this edge, or would you rather us just play, cut it down to 3 feet this way, and then make this the 4 feet edges over here? So again, comments down below, and if you don't care, you don't have to leave a comment either way, because it technically works either way. It's just this way is a little more abstract, because you have to imagine where that no man's land is, or that no man's zone. Anyway, since there's no fighting, there's no battle shock, we go on to scoring. Now, neither of us killed anything worth noting, so none of us get bonus points for killing things, so that's 1 point to each player. We're both at 1. But because I have the capability of appearing anywhere with the Stormcast Eternals, these evocators are holding both that objective there, and my concussors are holding the objective 3 in the back there. So that's going to be 3 points for me because I hold the most objectives in the first battle round. So it's going to be 3 to 1. Sorry, 4 to 1 in the first turn. Roll off time. You win ties. So you got a 3, I got a 6. I'm going to go ahead and let the Ironjawz go. I do not want a double turn yet. I want control when I want the most opportune double turn. Because even if I took the double turn now, there's no advantage for me to do it. They're pretty far away from them, so we'll see where this goes. You actually have a hero phase now. One thing I want to note is I forgot about the mount trait for my Gryph-Charger. This is a word that I did not know existed. Indefatigable. So it's indefatigable. I might not be pronouncing that right. I understand fatigable. This is indefatigable. Indefatigable. Oh, I think, you know what?
Indefatigable.
Indefatigable. Indefatigable. I'm gonna get a second opinion.
Indefatigable. Indefatigable.
I'm not buying it. I don't like it. Anyways, He can reroll run rolls. So anytime I run Indefatigable, he can reroll it. He doesn't get tired, is what it means. It's quite obvious that's what it means. It's just the pronunciation is throwing me off. We're gonna throw a Mystic Shield out on the table.
Yep, so on them.
On the odd boys. You get +1 to this. So you're gonna roll an 8, which turns into a 9. I cannot stop it. So, wait, unless they can unbind. I don't think they can though. They can unbind. I am within 30 inches, so I might as well try. Wah! Well, that's a hard fail. They will be the proud owners of Mystic Shield, so they'll be re-rolling saving throws of 1. And I assume, are you going to be running them or charging with them? I think because they're Ironjawz, they get +3 to their charge range. They get +2 for the drums.
Yep, and +1 for being Ironjawz.
So how far away are we? I forgot you have more hero face stuff to do.
Well,
He's a hype man. He tells someone to gives him +1 to hit. The hype man is gonna hype. He's gonna bang his bone sticks together and tell them to give him +1 to hit. Boots, 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 boots.
His sticks are also known as the broccoli.
The broccolis?
Since they're green.
He painted the tips green. He's got little broccoli sticks. And I assume he does not want to use his command ability. Or his wah.
He has a different command ability. That's Ironjawz specific. Essentially, he can pick a unit within 18 inches, and they can move.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he's got those as well. Yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, you have currently 1 command point, or 2 now, sorry. That is called Mighty Destroyers. He's going to tell the brutes to do a move. So if they're within certain range, they have to charge, or if they're already within 3 inches, they can do a pile in and fight, but that is not either the case for them, so it's going to do a 4-inch move in this direction towards me. And again, Mighty Destroyers on the second squad of brutes for your second command point. Kind of expensive, but brutes are very slow, and it's very important to move in these meeting engagement games. That brings us to the movement phase. First squad of brutes moved up there 4 inches. Second squad of brutes is going to run a total of 9 inches. Ending there. We're going to be moving the brutes up forward. They were 14 inches away. So it's going to be a 7-inch charge in the end. Sorry about that. They weren't 14 inches. They were 16 inches apart. So they're 12 inches away. They can still declare a charge. Well, they were within 16 inches. And it's going to be +3 to that charge because they got the drummer and their Ironjawz. So it's going to be a 9-inch charge if they want to charge in.
Yeah, I do want to charge in, but Mega Boss is going to advance.
Running an additional 6 inches. Very good run. He's going to go 10 to keep up with the brutes. The War Chanter and Weird Knob Shaman both ran up the field as well to keep up with the rest. No shooting, we're right on to charges. Where do you want to start? The only ones that can charge are those Ironjawz and those brutes over there. The brutes are going to need a pretty big charge as well. No command points for rerolling though.
These guys are going to charge first.
Alright, so they need a 9 to make it in.
9!
And no, they are off by a little bit. These brutes are 10 inches away, so they need a 9-inch charge to make it in. Just need to roll a 9. No, off by 1 inch. So they're not making it in. No combat for the Ironjawz yet. Terribly sorry. Which will bring it to my turn. Hero phase, they're going to cast Empower on themselves, which allows them to reroll wound rolls. Whoa. They're going to get it with a 12. The Weird Knob's going to need a 12 to stop it because he's got +1 to unbind currently with the brutes nearby.
Stop it!
No. Got a total of an 11. Needed a 13. So they will be empowered. Mystic Shield onto the Evocators from my Lord Arcanum, and we do get Mystic Shield off as well. These Evocators are moving up there piddly 5 inches. That's a 7-inch charge for them to get into the Ironjawz boys. They gotta fight something. Gotta kill something. These guys move 10, so I'll get back to them. We're gonna run the Sequitors. They move an additional 4. They're gonna end there. My Lord Arcanum on Griff Charger is going to ride the winds etheric. So this is a once per game ability. He's going to roll 66. I'm going to choose a direction. I'm going to say that direction. It's like the old hit and run almost. And I move that many inches forward. And well, I can move up to that many inches forward. I just want him like near the Evocators to support them. He is going to go 10, 11, 14, 25 inches. Ending there. He also moves as if he could fly, so he just ignores the models in the terrain. Ending there, obviously cannot charge afterwards, just getting into a better position for next turn. The last thing to move are my concussors. Yikes, where do they want to go? They're going to move up 10 inches to there. We're going to have a long line of Stormcast Eternals bring the fight to the Ironjawz. So we're going to do some Storm Blasts. We're going to be targeting those brutes right in front of us, as they're going to be the main target for our close combat attacks if we make a charge, which is going to be 5 inches to get into that closest brute over there. Wah! So both the Storm Blasts miss, unfortunately. They hit on 4s, each hit is D3 mortal wounds, but we miss. That is it for my shooting phase. It comes to the charge phase. We're going to start with the Evocators doing a charge. They're going to roll a 7, which is a fancy charge. And they will end there after their 7-inch charge, trying to avoid the brutes over there. Don't need to bring them in if I can avoid it. Charging with my Decimators? Got a 9, which is a good charge. With that 9, we're actually going to charge into this crevice over here. Since we're already all fighting over here, might as well pull them all in and avoid pulling in those brutes if possible. That is it for charges, and we're going to fight first with my Concussors. I called them Desolators earlier, those are the axe guys. The Concussors are going to go ahead and attack the brutes first. Yeah, sorry, I was processing it for a bit there, but yeah, both everything in the brutes. I was debating, maybe I get lucky with their hammers and I put one on each of them and neither of them can pile in, but I want to double up on the brutes to make sure they can't pile in. Well, not make sure, but have a better chance of getting that off. And the Dracoths are both going to attack the brutes as well. So I'll start with the Dracoths because those are simple. Claws and Fangs, 3s to hit. We got 2 misses, 3s to wound. And we got 2 wounds. 6 though. 2 separate saves to make, they're both at -1. There's a D6 damage one and a single damage one. Which one are you rolling for now?
D6 damage 1.
So -1 rend. Oh, you make it! And then the other one. 4 up goes to a 5 up. They take 1 damage so far. Their lightning hammers are 6 attacks on 3s. I think 6s are what I was looking for here. So yeah, that is the concussive smash. Sorry, Blast to Ash. Any unmodified hit roll 6 is a mortal wound in addition to its normal damage, and if a unit suffers mortal wounds because of this ability, they can't pile in this turn. These wound on 3s, so that's 3 wounds at -1. 5 up armor, so failing 2, that's 4 damage plus 1, so 5 damage, 6, 7 damage because of the mortal wounds. So he takes, 3 on him. They have 3 wounds each, right? So it kills 2 brutes and wounds 1. So 1 brute dies, another brute dies, and 1 takes a wound. Then the normal guy up front takes this wound. So I'm done attacking. You can go ahead and attack with, well, the Ard boys make the most sense. So they all pile in. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that can attack them, and then 3 that have to attack the Concussors. So it looks like you got the champion and then 2 great weapons against the Concussors, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. We actually got lucky there. 5 guys with double weapons against my Evocators.
Okay, I'm going to do the heavy weapons against the big guys.
We'll do the 2 big weapons first. They have 4 attacks in total. They hit on 4s. We got 1 hit, wounding on a 3 with the rend. Nope. And then we have the champion attacking them. He's got 3 attacks, but he hits on 3s because he got +1 to hit.
Yeah.
So we got 2. Yeah, the champion actually has the 2-hand weapons. These wound on 3s with no rend.
Yeah.
Double wound. We have a 3-up armor save, and we take a damage so far. And 15 attacks with the double hand weapon, and then 1 guy attacking with his great weapon. We'll do the great weapon guy first on 4s. Oh my, is that a 5? Ultramarine dice. We got 2 hits, wounding on 3s.
1 for with
the symbol's the 1?
Yeah.
Okay. And wounding on 3s. Double wound. I currently have Mystic Shield up on them. They have a 4 up that goes to a 5 up, and then we take a damage as well. So they're both taking a damage. 4s to hit with the rest of the attacks. Oh, bam. 3s to wound. So 5 wounds on them. They're going to have a 4-up save. We take another damage. So they take 2 and they take 1. So keep it simple. Oh wait, you know what? I forgot. We the command trait. It lets me ignore damage because I'm wholly within 9. So them, they ignore damage on 6s. So they take it. They get a damage back, and then they ignore damage on the 6 because they're also wholly within 9. Oh. Okay, so I'm sorry. I actually just denied 2 of your damage. The Evocators are going to go ahead and twirl their blades around and try and carve up some Ard boys. The champ was able to pile in and around, make room for the one in the back. This guy can't really go anywhere. He has to go forward to that guy, and this guy's in base contact with 2. That guy's kind of stuck in with the 1 there. 17 attacks in total because of the prime. We hit on 3s, and we will be wounding on 3s as well. That was a hit, and that was a hit.
So he's telling?
3s to wound. Sorry, go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Honestly, he's telling the truth.
Yeah. I try to never lie. We got 5, 6, 7, 8. -1 to your armor save, so you should have a 5 up. So that's gonna. Oh, excellent roll. That is a 5. That is a 5. So only 4 damage so far. Celestial Lightning Arc after the attack. I've killed 2 Ardboys so far. Every 4 up is a mortal wound. Zap, zap, zap. So I do 1, 2, 3 dead Ardboys as well. So I kill 5 Ardboys from their Celestial Lightning Arc.
Yeah.
Good old balance evocators. So that is it for my fighting. You get to fight with the brutes, but they can't pile in. So I'm pretty sure he's got a 2-inch reach on his special weapon. So he can fight and the guy in front of him can fight, but the boss cannot fight. We're going to start with the Gore Choppa. Hitting on, I believe it's 4s. Which ones were the +1 to hit? It was those brutes over there. That's right. Oh, that only works for your turn anyway, so okay, never mind. Continue. We got a hit. It was wounding on 3s, but I caught it off camera. So that's 1 wound. Is there rend to their attack?
Nice one.
So I'm gonna have a 4 up armor save. We roll the 1 because of their shield. And we make it. And that was the big weapon. Now we have the normal guy's weapons. 4s, 1 miss, and 3s to wound. We've got 3.
Yep.
No rend though. We have a 3-up save. We roll 1 for the shield. We are 666 in it. The Stormcast never bow. They go nowhere today. That will be the end of combat, which brings us to the battle shock phase. I don't have to take any battle shocks, but I don't know if the brutes do, but the Ardboys definitely do. The Ardboys lost 5 guys, so rolling a d6 plus 5. They have their banner currently though.
Yeah, so leadership 8 currently.
So we roll a 10. So that means 2 more Ardboys are running away from this fight, which is not what you want. So yeah, you're gonna want to keep. You're probably gonna want to keep that guy because that's gonna break coherency.
Yeah.
So you want to probably give up, maybe not the champ. No, probably the drummer. We don't need the drummer. And then what's the leadership on brutes? Sorry, bravery. Bravery 6. They lost 2, so don't roll a 5. You just did the exact opposite of what I told you to do. So that means 2 are running, so take the wounded 1, I assume, and then you can leave the champion because he's really, really good. If he can get his hits off, that is. The Ardboys, the brutes, and the Ironjawz all together just don't feel like sticking around. This is just the Luka the dice. I offered my dice at the start of the game, but some people are superstitious, and don't want to use my dice. They
Hey,
hear that.
look, I said I don't care which dice I use.
I said use mine! Use my dice! You're like, no, use mine. I'm like, okay, sure, fine.
Sure.
Alright.
All ones.
Look, see, no, my dice are good. You gotta use my dice. Look at that. Match it. That's okay, not as good as my roll. I wouldn't consider myself a superstitious person, but sometimes these dice make me think. But sometimes they are cold to me, and that makes me sad. That's pretty cold of you dice. And now at the end of the turn, yes, I do realize that we've got to put Jameson's spearhead down because he gets a spearhead at the end and I get my rear guard at the end. They would have showed up right here regardless, and I would have done this move. Minus... Yeah, I probably would have ran them anyways. And it doesn't matter, I'm going to keep them where they are. They've already ran. So if I don't get to go next, then they're going to be able to charge in there. But if I get the double turn, then I can just go for the throat. And then my Aether Wings show up at the end of the turn. I'm really not too sure where I want them to go. We're going to go within 6 inches of the objective because they can come in from the heavens as well. So as long as more than half my army doesn't come in from the heavens. And then for scoring, I got the most objectives and I definitely dealt the most wounds. I've lost nothing. I've lost nothing. There's a lot of dead orcs. So I'm getting points for killing the most and points for holding the most. So I don't feel like I'm getting more and more experience with meeting engagement, and all of my guests that are coming in have never really tried it yet. So this is Jameson's first attempt. I helped him build a list with what he had and supported some of our own stuff, and then kind of gave him the rundown of how it works. But I'm also fighting really slow armies, and I'm on the fence about meeting engagement. We're going to keep playing it here at MiniWarGaming because it is new and it is definitely something that Games Workshop's going to try and push. I don't know how the slow armies are supposed to play. I do not know. And going second is just so powerful in meeting engagement, it's ridiculous. You get to dictate who gets the first double turn, if it comes up, and you get to choose, and you get the advantage to kind of overcome scoring. It's like, how many of my things did he kill? Ooh, okay, I don't have to overcommit that much. I only have to kill like 1 or 2 models if he only killed none of my models or 1 of my models. And like things like that, then you can kind of snag objectives too with fast units. This is kind of like, as I play these, this is kind of like a review and my perspective of the game mode so far. But yeah, that's where my 8th wings are going to end up, and that'll be the end of turn 2 as we go into battle round 3. So it's currently 9-1 for the Stormcast Eternals. The only way at this point for the Ironjawz and Jameson to win is to have 2 perfect turns. You're going to need, or at least a turn of 5 and 4. Wait, 5 and 3, because if you do that, you get 8 points to my 9. And then that's assuming, no, I think you have to actually have 2 perfect turns at this point. That's another thing I don't like. It's quite obvious. Like, I've had some close games, but I've had some really one-sided games as well. Anyways.
This is one of those one-sided
I think this is, yes, no, this is one of those one-sided games. We're going to roll off to see who gets to go first here. You win ties. Okay, yeah, obviously at this point, this is where going second has all the power. I think at this point, it's almost impossible for Jameson to recover, so I'll take the double turn and I'll put the nail in the coffin, and we're going to jump into the vault and play a second game. Now, I'm not saying I automatically won, but I'm going to try and do the win here, and we're going to go to the vault and try and figure this out together. Because media engagement, I'm still a little iffy on, like I said. And it's not like Jameson's inexperienced. How often do you play? You play once a week?
Yeah, once a week.
Yeah, so like he's...
And I've only been playing for a couple of weeks.
Age of Sigmar?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's doing it. Okay, but you've been playing 40k for 3 years.
Yes.
Okay, so Jameson himself is experienced with the game, more so experienced than a lot of other people, and he's at that age where he can kind of pick up the game quite quickly too when he does play it that often. So yes, it may look like I am crushing a 13-year-old at the game, but I don't know. I've crushed a lot of like older people too, so I don't feel so bad. Yeah, I'll take my turn. I also want to note the last time that Jameson and I played, it was you and your father versus Cork and myself, and it turned out to be a one-sided game. And I remember Cork and I got a lot of flack for that game because I don't know if anyone who's watching this game remembers that. That's when you had Gilliman, and Cork and I devised that plan to snipe Gilliman. We lined up the vehicles so that only Gilliman was the only visible target, nearest visible target, and we did like 8 smites into Gilliman to kill him. And it was a very cheesy way to do it, but we had no other way to deal with Gilliman. And we both felt bad, but we're very accomplished.
Because there was like a bunch of Ultramarine intercessors screening him.
But we threw rhinos and land raiders in front of them so we couldn't see them.
That gosh darn Darth the Guard Land Raider.
The Death Guard Land Raider.
And
yes, I do recall him.
I believe it did die.
It did, but it does that blow up thing where it automatically blows up.
Yeah, there was like a bubble of don't get near this thing.
Exactly.
And otherwise, when you kill it,
that was
it's gone.
That was a very memorable game because they show up today asking for a rematch. I'm like, oh, what was that game? And then your father had said something, then it all came back to me in a hot flash, like, oh goodness, that's right, that was that game.
He said, sportsmanship.
It was the sportsmanship thing, yeah, because we had, I know we're off track here, we had just sniped Gilliman down, and that's when I did the iconic, like, sportsmanship! Trying our best to kill poor 12-year-old Jameson's Gilliman off the table to the cheesiest standards of the game. And that's how you play 40k against a 12-year-old. Here at MiniWarGaming, everyone. As I move on to the hero phase, I am now recalling that they had Empower on them, and I forgot to reroll wound rolls. I don't think it matters all that much.
You murdered them enough.
I think it's sometimes you like to look at the dice, and they kind of compensate for forgetting forgotten rules, or forgotten moves, or forgotten mechanics. And
other times they don't.
And other times they don't. Like say you forget a beneficial, like say I forgot about the rerolling wounds. So the dice said during the battle shock phase that Jameson is going to have 2 guys run away because maybe 2 guys would have died to the rerolled wounds. So I like to imagine in the end of the game the dice always kind of even out. I know that is not true in any way, shape, or form, but that is what I like to believe. I'm going to open up.
Yeah, that's right. They may be wrong, because I forgot to do Mystic Shield. I forgot about
the Mystic Shield too. Right, so I guess they're forgetting them. How did I forget the Mystic Shield? Man, okay. I remember that too. I remember before rolling like Mystic Shield, don't forget Mystic Shield, and forgot Mystic Shield and Empower. We must have got distracted. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cast Empower again. Well, bam. We got it with a 9 this time. If you want to stop that, you can, but he can cast spells as well. So we are not going to be stopping that. And Power is going to go on to, I think it's a pretty short range, so probably just on themselves again. We're going to put that on this guy right here, because I think we're going to throw him into combat, because why the heck not? Now, my Lord Arcanum on Grift Charger, he is going to go ahead and throw out either Arcane Bolts If I roll high enough on Arcane Bolt, I can do D6 mortal wounds with that. Do I do Mystic Shield, Arcane Bolt, or Chain Lightning, or Healing Lights? I don't think it really matters all that much. I'm just gonna do... I'll do Arcane Bolt. Maybe I'll get lucky and get a big one. Well, bam! We roll a 9. That is not the big Arcane Bolt. So if he's got Prime Electrodes, his Arcane Bolts deal D3 mortal wounds. Would you like to stop that? That's the only spell I have.
So I need to roll a 9 or more.
Actually, you don't get the +1 anymore because I killed Brutes off. You have to roll a 10 or more.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. There you go. No Arcane Bolt.
My first denial.
Okay, that ends my hero phase. Brings us on to the movement phase. Lord Arcanon's going to move over there. Sequitur is moving up there 5 inches. That'll bring us to the shooting phase. Both of them are going to shoot their Storm Blast into that one remaining Brute to try and take him out. We hit on 4s. We both hit. And there's no rolling to wound. It's just you automatically take D3 mortal wounds per hit. So he's going to suffer, wow, 6 mortal wounds. Way overkill, but he does get obliterated by lightning. Charge phase, starting with Lord Arcanum. He's going to go 4 inches.
Oh, wait a minute. You would have to target the Ard boys.
No, they were within 3 of them as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that I just want to kill him off and kill them with melee. So 4 inches is going to take me 3, and then 1 over to about there. Actually, we're going to go more over this way. And we're going to charge Sequitors 10. Well, that's a really good charge for them.
There.
So putting them in such a way where I can pile in to make room for this one to get in by him going that way, then him going over this way, and then him going over that way, and then he'll squeeze in. Now for fighting first, I don't think that's super important, but they have to channel their energy into something. I will use a command point from the Lord Arcanum on Gryph-Charger for soul energy, which allows them, the squad of Sequitors, if they're wholly within 9, which they are, to channel energy into both their shields and their weapons for a command. I had 3 command points, so I figured why not. So they'll be re-rolling saving throws and hit rolls. I'll start with the Sequitors, because they have the most, well, they have the biggest potential to take damage. So you're going to pile in over that way, you were closer to him, so you're going to pile over there, and then to there, and lastly, in you go. I'll do all the big hammers first, because they have the most potential. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big hammers, so it's going to be 11 attacks. 3s to hit, re-rolling for channeling power into their weapons, which gives me 2 extra hits. 3s to wound, not re-rolling that, but that's an excellent roll. -1 to your saves. So you're going to make 3 of them, and you're going to take 10 damage, because there's a 2 damage each. So far, 10 damage. And now 10 attacks from the regular shield and hammer guys on 3s, re-rolling their attacks for power to the weapons, and 3s to wound, because they're so much better than Liberators. And there we go. Hammer time! 4 up saves, so you've taken 10 damage so far, followed by another 5. Are they 5 wounds each?
Yes.
I exactly killed them. So that is 15 damage in total from that squad.
Yeah.
Ard boys go next, pile in. They're all double weapon. You have to do the champion separately though, because he gets +1 to hit. All into the abductors. 3 attacks from the bigger orc. I don't know what he's called. A biggin? What is he actually called?
The big boss.
The big boss. Sorry, well, he gets 2 hits, and then we I guess roll the wound with him. He wounds on 3s. We have classic 0 wounds. 6 attacks from the remainder on 4s.
Hopefully these guys do better than the failure known as the big boss.
They do just as good as he does. And look at that, they did infinitely better. 1 out of nothing. 4 up save. We make it. I guess ultimately in the end they do just as good. We're gonna elect to fight with this guy. He gets to pile in still. So what I'm gonna do with that is he's just gonna end up there. Oops, to there. Piling in like that, they're all in range to attack this time. 16 attacks because of the champ. 3s to wound. This time I will remember Empower, which is only 3 re-rolls, giving me only 1 extra wound, which was a 4. -1 to your save.
5 ups.
So you're going to be taking, oh my, look at this. See, he's using my dice, and he can't roll a single 5 up. 2.
I rolled 1 5 up.
That's true, you rolled 1 5 up. That's actually enough to kill the unit outright, because that's 6 damage. They all go down, leaving you with this collective of characters and brutes, which isn't that bad. And then...
You killed 3 units this turn.
Did I? Killed 1, 2... Oh, and yeah, I blasted, storm blasted the 1 off the table. So this, at the end of my turn, I will claim control of this objective, and this will still be my objective, and then that one will still be my objective at the end as well. No battle shocks to take as we move on to the hero phase for the Ironjawz. Alright, so for you to win this turn, you have to wrestle control of these 2 objectives from me. So ideally kill all that stuff off with what you have over there. And kill more than me. So I did 15 plus 3 for 18 plus 6 for 24. So I've done 24 damage. What I have here is 5, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I got 30. I have 30 wounds right there. So you have to kill all of that off and control those objectives for the perfect turn in this battle round. Because that means you'll kill more and hold more objectives than me.
Well,
So in your hero phase, you've got the hype man, who can hype up the war boss, giving him +1 to hit.
yes. And then the war boss is going to declare a...
Whoa!
Okay.
So with your 1 command point, you declare a Wah, which gives everything bonus attacks in the combat phase.
Yes.
And then we have the the weird knob shaman. What spell would he like to cast?
He's going to cast Fit of Gork.
We're gonna try for the infinite potential damage. This goes off on a 10. He does not get the +1 either, because there's not enough Wah energy nearby. Sorry.
Meh.
So his spell does not go off, but we have the hype man going and we got the Wah going. Now we come to movement. Everything here is collectively moved, and no shooting. Right on the charging. Who do you open up with?
Let's start with the Mega Boss into these guys.
Right, you don't in Age of Sigmar you don't have to declare, you just kind of roll your dice and see where you end
Okay.
up. There's no Overwatch anyways. Oh no, I was gonna say it! Whatever you do, don't roll a double 1 because you don't have a command point because you used the Wah.
Well, I'm not going to be getting that perfect turn.
The brutes might do it. I don't think the brutes have enough damage.
No, they can't do 30.
You know what? Why don't you just at this point it's pity. Just go ahead and re-roll. I'm curious to see if you could do it. At this point, so at the double 1, that's an auto loss because the brutes don't have enough damage to do what we discussed earlier. Now let's see if he can get in. Let's see what can happen. So, bam! He got a 4-inch charge. He can make it into the big guy and a little bit further. Oh, wait, you know what? The double 1s don't fail. He has a +1. There's no need for the reroll. He can go right into the. I forgot you're an Ironjawz. Boop. Well, on the initial roll, you'd end up going there because you got the 3. There's no reason for the
Don't
reroll.
stay in base contact.
Yeah. The brutes. That was the Ironjawz roll. So they get a 7. They're gonna end up like that. So what's gonna have to happen here is he's gonna have to go first, pile in and around, and attack the evocators. Which we will do, and he'll attack. I assume he's gonna put all the attacks into the evocators.
Yes.
So here's all of his attacks. He hit on, is it 3s and 3s? 1 miss. 1 miss, 3s to wound. That's still enough to kill them all. That will not be, but we have 4 wounds in the end. Because these are 3 damage each because he's got the destroyer. What's the rend on this, 2?
-1.
-1. Puts me to a 5-up armor save, which I will make 2. And I don't have my general wholly within 9, so that's just 6 damage. Which will kill off this one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're gonna take a damage.
Okay.
I'm choosing to not use Cycle of the Storm here because I might need it for maybe the big guys over there. You know what? We'll go back. He rolled a 2 to hit. I forgot the hype man said that's actually a hit. So wounds on a 3. No. All right, never mind.
The dice gods say no.
Yeah, that's what we get for forgetting. They're not going to go, but the Desolators or the Concussors are going to go ahead next. They're going to put all their attacks into the brutes. These are going to be the mounts on 3s. We have only 2 hits, 3s to wound. Oh, a 6 and a 3 though. We'll do the 6 first, because it's D6 damage, which you fail, and then the other one, you make. So it's going to be D6 damage onto the brutes as the mount does 4. So we have 4 damage so far. We have to actually go back to his Riptooth Fist. We'll go back once I'm done all the attacks with these Concussors. 3s to hit with the hammers. 6 is a mortal wound in addition to normal damage, and they can't pile in, but they're already all in range to fight anyways. So we got 1 damage plus 2 saves. 4 ups to a 5-up. You take a total of 4, 5 damage plus 4 for there. So you take 9 damage, which kills off 3 of them. Because they only have 3 wounds each. 1, 2, 3 go down. And then we have this guy's fist to go into them. 2s to hit, or you get +1 to hit. What is he hitting on normally with this?
5s normally.
Oh, so it goes to 4s.
So.
Okay, there we go. Brutes are up next. They get to reroll hit rolls because they duff them up. Is this the big weapon?
Yeah.
We'll do the big weapon first.
Yep.
We have 4s to hit. We have 1 hit and 2 rerolls because it duffed them up. We have 2 hits, wounding on 3s.
So.
1. puts me to a 5-up save because of Ren 1, which we will fail, and that is D3 damage if I recall. That's 3 damage so far. We have the boss. The boss's claw to see if he can make the other
Hitting
button
on force.
automatically hit. Yeah, nice. So he hits with that, which means his Basha automatically hits now.
Yes.
And these are obviously all into them.
Yeah, so I'm wounding on
We have a wound. What's the Ren?
-1.
-1, 4 up. When I said 5 up earlier, I meant 4 up, and I rolled a 3, so
2
I failed.
up. I mean 2 damage.
I do get to reroll 1s though because of my shield. Oh, we failed anyways. So we've taken a total of 5 damage. The Brute Smasher,
Hitting on 3s. I mean,
they automatically
wounding on
hit.
3s.
So these are wounding on 3s?
Yes.
What's the AP? Putting me to a 5-up save because it's Ren 2. Oh, wow. Failable. Is that 2d3 damage?
Yep.
So an extra. The Brute Boss always does so much. 2 more damage. So 7 damage.
No, 3 more damage.
Oh, 3 more. Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
So 8 damage. I'll use Cycle of the Storm on one of those. We'll say on the first model to die with an 18. That means he just takes 1 less damage, so I only take 7. So we'll kill this guy off, even though he's covered in boots. And he will take 2 more damage. Not a bad amount of damage there. Now I have the Evocators to go. They're going to pile in here.
I'm not going to get that perfect turn.
And then I'm going to try and get them within 9 so they can ignore damage for later on. Hitting on 3s. They still have power on them, so we have 4 misses. Wounding on 3s with a reroll on these 2 here. Alright, only 4 wounds. At -1, I believe you have a 3-up armor save. So 4 up now. Take 2 damage. How many wounds do you have? 7? 6? He is going to have 5 wounds left because he only took 2.
Okay.
So he's got now the little lightning arcs. If I roll 5 4-ups here, he dies, and I'll count myself the luckiest man of the day. Ah! Oh, I was close. I was super close. He takes 4 mortal wounds. He goes down to 1 wound remaining. And now for Battle Shock. We lost 3 brutes. Yeah, you have to do yours first. So leadership 6. So don't roll a 4 or more. Hey, there's that 6. They all run. That's not good. And then he doesn't have to take 1. I lost 2, but my bravery goes up +1 because I'm a Hammer of Sigmar, so I can't possibly fail. He's got 1 wound left. And for controlling objectives, I still have both of these objectives because yeah, you didn't take this one from me. I can say that he's in range of it though, but I'm going to say that they're all in range of this one to make that my objective. So I hold more objectives and I killed more things for another perfect turn for the Stormcast. The double turn obviously helping a ton, getting 15 wounds over here plus the additional wounds over there. So Jameson, I'm going to give you that awkward left-handed handshake. We are going to clean up this game. We are going to set up for a second game where Jameson and I already kind of created a list. Well, he created a list as I was eating food. He wants to run. I want to see what it's like too with a Mega War Boss on a Maw Crusher. Something fast for Ironjawz in a meeting engagement game. And my list is going to be, I have no idea yet. I honestly don't know. I'm gonna think of that as we clean up for this game. So if you're not a Vault member and you want to check that out, go ahead and click that link below. Otherwise, that is the end of this game for meeting engagement. Again, leave your comments down below what your opinion of the format is. I like it, but at the same time, it feels too easy with a fast army. I don't know.
Yeah, like my army was just sliding up. Like I was just moving up into position, and all of a sudden, bang!
Yep.
And
So
your entire army's in my face.
Exactly. Like I was able to pick all the fights I wanted to, fight. I was able to be safe everywhere I went. I took maybe a couple risky moves, but in the end, I got lucky. Everything worked out how I wanted it to work out,
And also, I failed the very vital charges.
You failed the initial turn 2 charges. They were both 9-inch charges because you didn't waste, but you used a couple command points for Mighty Destroyers. Regardless, that is it for this game, folks. We're going to play another meeting engagement down below if you want more Age of Sigmar content. Until then, I'll see you next time. And as always, happy wargaming. Okay, Vault members, game 2 time between Jameson and myself. He's changed up his list to go with Ironjawz. I've decided to go with the Caradron Overlords. Completely on the ground, boots on the ground, no flying transport ships. They're too expensive. I don't think they work that well in meeting engagement. I was challenged to try the Caradron Overlords out, so I will. This is the list I'll be running with a lot of Thunderers and some Sky Wardens and Engine Riggers and a big squad of Arcanaut Company. Facing off against a very fast Ironjawz list in meeting engagement. Now, if you're not a Vault member and you want to check this game out, click on that link below. Get yourself that 7-day free trial. and access to the rest of our Age of Sigmar content, as well as 40k narrative campaigns, all the good stuff. Lots and lots and lots of painting tutorials from our master, Chris. As always, see you next time, and happy wargaming, everybody.